All right. Welcome to Sapion. My name is Rao. It's a long name basically. Purna Chandra Rao Voleti. People call me Rao, Voleti, Purna, all kinds of names. I prefer Rao because it is short and sweet. Okay. So this is an exclusive demo for business objects, meaning we are not going to cover anything relating to BW. I'm going to record the session. All right. Not going to cover anything relating to BW. It's all about business objects and what we offer from a curriculum perspective. So let's go through the agenda. Hi. You should have an invite in your inbox. If you don't have it, we'll ask Sujita to do it. Or you can share the computer with him just to see the screen. Yeah. So agenda is mentors intro. I am the mentor. We used to have two more mentors from United States. My colleagues who worked with me for more than a decade. They're busy with projects, so I told them timings won't match and no point in you contributing towards Sapion. I said, please. So they both are fired basically, literally. So this is my background, 20 plus years of experience, 16 years in SAP space, 13 plus in SAP's BI, including HANA. When I moved to India from US in 2011, August, 2012, I joined SAP GDC in Bangalore, supporting their HANA system. For about 9 months, I was a contractor. HANA general availability was about 3 years ago to customers. Okay. Come again. No. HANA is SAP's product. So I will just give you a background a little later. Okay. Reserve that question with yourself. Done multiple implementation support projects in US and India. More than 12 years I was in US. I'm a platinum level consultant, even supporting US customers even now. 9 years of teaching, mentoring experience. As I told you earlier in a casual talk, I used to train people and place them in US. I have my own company, nothing to do with Sapion. Okay. Something about data warehousing. This demo is useful. The purpose of this demo is to bring everybody onto the same page, to make them understand in layman terminology what data warehousing is at a high level, because that's what BI and analytics is all about, right? So you are already into data warehousing. Somebody might be from some other background. So let's quickly cover what is data warehousing. What is a warehouse? Warehouse is a place where goods are stored, isn't it? We call it go down in Telugu, correct? In Hindi we call it godan, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, But similarly, if we are storing business data, business information data in a database specifically for reporting, it becomes a data warehouse. Technically, it is an RDBMS. We all know RDBMS. If you don't know, you are not eligible for this course. Okay? That's a prerequisite. There are other prerequisites also. I will cover that. Which will be surprising for you because we don't take everybody into training unless you have the basic knowledge on few things. Okay. Now, I'm not going to read this slide. Basically, a data warehouse is an RDBMS which stores information only for reporting purpose. No transactions are entered into that RDBMS. Okay. We do a process of extraction, transformation and loading. We call it ETL from different sources. Let's say we are a company like Apollo Tyres. All right. So a company like Apollo Tyres, we have multiple systems being used. I might have an ERP system. I might have business information stored in files. I might have business information stored in databases, etc. Right. I bring all the data into a data warehouse for reporting on a regular basis. All right. So that's a scenario where a data warehouse is used for only for reporting purpose, not for transaction. Now, what kind of reports you can generate out of data warehouse? These are some of the examples. If you talk about sales data, what is sales data in an enterprise? Order, delivery data, billing. Billing is another kind of sales data, isn't it? We bill the customers, right? Now, if I am a VP sales and my job is to come every day in the morning, run 2 reports. One is daily sales, the other is sales month to date. Let us say, why do I need to run this report? To make critical decision making. Let us say, if last month or this month, if I am saying month to date this month, if I am responsible for 2 product lines and 2 regions of Apollo Tires, let us say, and if I figure out based on the report that one division is not doing according to expectation from a sales booking of orders perspective, then I can take a decision saying do some promotional activity, isn't it? So that is one of the examples of a report which will enable a user to take critical decision. Okay. Financial data, profit and loss. You know what a profit and loss statement is. It's nothing but a statement or a report which says whether the company or the business is making a profit or a loss, right? What kind of decision making a management person can take? If I'm making losses for the last 5 years continuously, I can basically close down the business, isn't it? Right? If I'm making loss, if I made profit last 3 years, last 2 years I've been making loss, then I can take an action to see why I'm making loss and do a corrective measure, isn't it? Balance sheet. What is a balance sheet report? It shows the overall financial status of a company. What are the assets the company has, what are the liabilities the company has, etc. All that stuff. Cash flow statement. What is cash flow statement? Sources of funds, uses of funds. That is what cash flow is. Meaning how much money is coming into the pocket, how much money is going out of the pocket. I'm talking from a company's perspective. Cash flow is also, as for an individual also, there will be a cash flow. Salary is being paid and expenses are being incurred every month, isn't it? That is sources and uses of funds. Agree? What does the cash flow statement give you? It gives you the liquidity status. How much liquid cash you have, isn't it? That's very important for a company or even an individual. Purchasing data. What kind of reports you can generate out of purchasing data? What is the purchasing function in an enterprise? If I am Apollo Tires, what am I purchasing? Material, raw material, rubber, chemicals, etc. Whatever goes into tire manufacturing, right? That is production related purchasing. There is non-production related purchasing. If I am Apollo Tires, I have a corporate office. In a corporate office, every floor has got a break room. In the break room, there is coffee, milk, biscuits, everything. Who is purchasing it? Not employees. The company purchases and puts it there, isn't it? That is non-production related purchasing, which does not go into your finished product directly. But indirectly, if I have coffee only, I will be able to work. At least without coffee, I can't live. Alright. Now, some of the examples: on-time delivery report in purchasing. What is on-time delivery? I have different vendors who are supplying rubber, let us say, or chemical. If certain vendor is not supplying rubber on time, what will happen? I cannot produce my tires on time. If I cannot produce my tires on time, I cannot deliver to customers on time. If I am not able to deliver customers on time, I will lose customers. I will lose business. So this on-time delivery report from a purchasing perspective is who are the vendors who are delivering on time, who are the vendors who are not delivering on time, the raw material. What kind of a critical action I can take? I can take those vendors who are not delivering on time out of my panel and look for somebody else who got a better track record from a delivery perspective. Okay? That's kind of decision making I can take. Purchasing volume. What is this purchasing volume report? Quantity. How much quantity of each of the materials I am buying? Let's take for example a household. If you are a family of 4, Will you buy 100 kgs of rice every month? You won't. You will buy 20-25 kilos. Maximum, if you have relatives and visitors coming every month, you will buy 30 kilos or 40 kilos. Right? If I am for a family of 4, if I am buying 100 kilos, is it over purchasing or under purchasing? Over purchasing. If for a family of 4, if I am buying 5 kilos of rice every month, is it over purchasing or under purchasing? Under purchase. That's called purchasing volume. Why is it important? If I am over purchasing, I am increasing my inventory level. If I am under purchasing, my inventory level is low. Inventory is cost to the company. Simple. If I am purchasing 100 kilos of rice for a family of 4, there are 3 disadvantages. The first disadvantage is I am unnecessarily locking my money as an individual, right? Second disadvantage is storage space in the house. Unnecessarily, I am buying more and keeping it in the house, right? Third disadvantage, risk of rice being spoiled, right? Similarly, I gave you a household example. Even in a corporate, it's the same thing. Obviously, raw material rubber will not be spoiled, but some other raw material, maybe some chemical might have an expiry period and it might get spoiled. So I don't want to do over purchasing. What kind of decisions I can make out of purchasing volume report? Whether my purchasing is at an optimum level, whether my inventory is at my optimum level or not. Okay? Clear on this? These are some of the reports which you can generate out of a data warehouse. Alright? Obviously, this data comes from different sources or different source systems. Production data. This is one example of a production report. Work in progress report. As the CEO of the company, can I ask for a report which says how many tires are being produced at this moment in the factory? Is that a valid reporting requirement? It's ad hoc. What did you say? I'm sorry. Whatever it is, but is it a valid reporting requirement? Meaning, management need to know how many tires are being manufactured in the shop floor or not. That's a reporting requirement, isn't it? That was the question. That is called work in progress report. Okay? Now, let's move on. There are 2 types of systems in a data warehousing environment. One is OLTP system, the other is OLAP system. OLTP system is online transaction processing system. What is this system? This system is only designed for entering transactions. 2 examples of OLTP systems. First example is a retail store. You go to Reliance Trends. When you go to Reliance Trends, you pick up your jeans, t-shirts, whatever you want to pick up. You come to a counter. That guy will have a terminal in front of him and a scanner. He will scan everything from your basket. Everything gets into the system. He presses 2 buttons and takes the bill out. You pay the bill, right? And then you walk out, right? That's one transaction. The system which is there, the terminal which is there in Reliance Trends retail store is an OLTP system. But the database is in Ambani's backyard. I'm just kidding. It should be somewhere in Reliance corporate office in Mumbai. Correct? Right? So that is an example of a retail store OLTP system. Let's talk about corporate, which is a non-retail, where we are talking about huge systems which are only designed for entering transactions, like an ERP system. What is an ERP system? Enterprise Resource Planning System. Simple example. You can stop me whenever you want if you don't understand something, basically, any number of times. I am a man who's having a lot of patience. Now, ERP, what is the concept of ERP? Multiple applications with one single database. That's the concept of ERP. I will give you an example. If I am Apollo Tires, I have purchasing department, I have sales department, I have accounting department, I have finance department, I have production department, I have a lot of other departments, right? In olden days, all these departments used to work in silos, meaning each department used to have its own information system. How do you define an information system? Basically a bunch of screens to enter data and a database which will store the data. That's an information system, isn't it? So all these guys with all these departments used to have its own information system, not integrated to each other. Okay, so sales guys used to enter data through a bunch of screens. The data used to go sit in sales database. Purchasing guys used to enter data through a bunch of screens and it goes and sits in purchasing database. At the end of the month, if I have to consolidate all the information to produce a profit and loss statement or a balance sheet, it used to be a nightmare. Okay, because the systems are not integrated, the data is not real time, etc., etc. Lot of disadvantages. But 40 years ago, a bunch of geniuses came up with the concept of ERP. Why should we have these individual information systems, each supporting a business function or a department in an organization? Why can't we develop a software which has multiple applications and one single database, tightly integrated to each other on a real-time basis? Meaning, finance guys can see what is happening in sales. Sales guys can see what is happening in purchasing. Purchasing guys can see what is happening in sales, like that. Okay? So then they come up with the concept of ERP, and all these companies, SAP, Oracle, JD Edwards, PeopleSoft, all these guys are software development companies. They started developing their ERP software and selling it to customers. The customers can be top 100 customers in the world. We call them Fortune 100 companies, Fortune 500 companies, Fortune 1000 companies, small and medium companies, right? Those kind of companies can implement this software and use it to run their business properly. Clear? Now what is happening in this ERP software? It's one software product which has one database, multiple applications. Sales guys will go to the screens, meaning application, to enter their sales orders, deliveries and billing information. Accounting guys will go and through different screens, they will enter journal entries, right? Accounting posting. Purchasing guys will go to their relevant application and enter purchase orders and all that. All this information will go and sit in one database. Although in that database there will be multiple tables. We understand that. Can't be in one table, right? So that's an example of an OLTP system, which is from an ERP perspective. Now, what are OLAP systems? Typically data warehouses. OLAP stands for Online Analytical Processing Systems, which are only used for reporting. Okay? So it's a data warehouse, basically. Data warehouse is nothing but technically it's an RDBMS, right? Where you do the model and then bring the data from different sources and use it for reporting. Bringing data from different sources is called ETL. There are multiple ETL tools, right? Cognos, Informatica, Business Objects Data Services, we call it BODS, right? These are all ETL tools. Okay? So far so good? Business objects. Front end. We only teach front end. We do not teach business objects data services. For the simple reason that BODS is an optional tool for a lot of SAP customers. ETL is already built in BW. Okay? It's in the software itself, ETL tools are there. So if a company is using business objects and do not have the SAP's data warehousing product BW, they might go for BODS. So there are a lot of very small number of implementations from a BODS perspective. Okay? So we don't teach that. But reporting we teach, because reporting requirements from a job perspective are more than ETL, strictly from a BO perspective. Okay? Now, front-end analytic tools suite now a part of SAP. SAP acquired business objects a lot of years ago, about 8 years ago. Alright, this was a strategic move by SAP to acquire business objects. Business objects was into these tools, selling of these tools to different customers. They had 41,000 customers in those days worldwide. So SAP's acquisition of business objects as a company was a strategic move to increase their market share in analytics market. Okay, that was the reason. Now they have integrated SAP's tools, which is data warehousing product BW, into business objects. Both work hand in hand. Okay. Flexible and robust tools for reporting with excellent functionality for formatted, analytical and dashboard reporting capability. What is formatted reporting? Correct. What is format? What is the format? Correct. So a format is nothing but, a formatted report is nothing but a report which has predefined font, logo here, the highlighting of the highlighting criteria, and the what do you call, the report header should be here, things like that. It is pre-format. For example, if you talk about profit and loss report or a balance sheet report, does the format change every day? It does not. Unless income tax authorities in India or company law board says, no, current assets should not appear here, it should appear somewhere else. Isn't it? Right? So that's an example of formatted report. Right? Where it is pre-formatted and the user only executes the report, gets the output, takes the printout and consumes that information. Okay? That's called formatted reporting. Analytical reporting. What is analytical reporting? I will give you an example. If I am vice president sales, I will have an office executive in front of my cabin. We in India, we call them personal assistant. I don't like that word. It gives a different meaning. Office executive, a lady or a gentleman. Let's say I am VP sales and my name is Mark. I have Stacy as an office executive. So Mark is going to call Stacy and say, Stacy, in 5 minutes, let's say in 10 minutes, I want a report country-wise sales revenue for this month. Okay? In a graph, in a Microsoft Excel output. Okay? Now what does Stacy do? She will go quickly get into the data warehouse, the front end tool, create a report and get to the information what the vice president needs, download it to Excel and then put a nice chart, right? And then send it across to the vice president. Now, these kind of users are called super users, where they know IT, meaning they know how to get and create a query on the fly, meaning on ad hoc basis. They understand the business data. They also understand what the vice president needs from a reporting perspective. Okay? So these are called analytical users. The previous example which I gave you for formatted reports, who uses them? Non-analytical users. What they do, the report is already there, they go to the report, execute, take a printout and use that information. They don't create a query or a report on the fly, right? So these are two different kinds of reporting. Okay. The third one is dashboard. What is the car dashboard? What is behind the car steering wheel? What do you see? Mileage, speedometer, fuel gauge, right? What is that? What is the information that is giving to a driver? What speed you are going. If you are over speeding, you might die by a crash, or the police might catch you and give you a ticket. Correct? If you are under speeding, people will complain and honk from behind. So it is giving you an information at what speed you are going, and it will ask you to check your speed. Fuel gauge. It will tell the driver whether he has enough fuel to reach the destination or not. If it is going down, that means he has to stop at a petrol pump or a gas station to fill up. What is that? This dashboard is giving, it is giving the information to the user to make a critical decision. But it's not that it is giving huge amount of information. It's all through visualization. Speedometer is like a circle with, right? Fuel gauge, you know whether it is empty or full or reserve, right? Similarly, in an enterprise, there should be reporting capabilities which are visualization. By just looking at the report, a senior manager or top level management should be able to make a decision. For example, graph, pie chart, right? Map of India with every number appearing by state. Immediately by looking at it, they'll say Orissa is not doing well from a sales perspective. Let's do something about it. Isn't it? Why are dashboards used? The senior management like VP guys, they don't want to look at 100 pages of output to arrive what is the net sales revenue for that state. Isn't it? They want visualization report. That's what dashboard reporting capabilities are. Okay? Mandatory tools for you to learn to build a BO career. Web intelligence, standard tool for analytical reporting from a BO perspective. It's called WebI or WebI, depending on who's speaking. Crystal report, standard tool for formatted reporting, mandatory to learn. Okay. Dashboard design tool, standard tool for building dashboards. Universe design, this is not mandatory from the latest version onwards, but as a part of the training we teach the 3.x, we also teach 4.x. These are two versions which are currently prevalent in the market, implemented by different customers. Not everybody will go for 4.0. That is number one. Number two, when you are preparing your resume for a job, if you are putting 3 to 4 years of experience, you need to know something about 3.x tools also, the older version. Okay. You can't just learn 4.0 that and then say I got trained in 4.0. Alright. Okay. Keep that in mind. Optional tools. What is optional tools here? From a Sappion or Rao's perspective, these are optional tools to learn. These are new tools in the BO suite, Business Objects Explorer, search tool for info and explore data, information. Info means information. Visual intelligence, self-service analytics via visualization. What is self-service? Meaning, I want a graph. That graph should have business information which will make me take decisions. I can create it on the fly instead of executing something which has been developed by a developer and given to me. Self-service. We know what self-service is. When you go to these darshanis, right? You pay the money at the counter, go to the counter, and the guy gives you the plate you're bringing. There's no server who will bring it onto your table. That's self-service. Same way, if I need a report which is visualization, then I will use this visual intelligence tool. Okay? Business objects analysis. There are two flavors to it. Microsoft Office and non-Microsoft Office. Okay? Meaning it's a GUI, basically graphical user interface. The one which is most used in the market by those customers who have just gone for this tool. Remember, these tools are new. Still there's a lot of market for the first four, what I have told you. Right? These new tools are new. Now, these tools, from a business objects analysis perspective, MS Office version is mostly used. Why? Because it is Excel. People love Excel. Right? This is a broad overview of different tools which are there, mostly reporting tools. Remember, we don't teach data services, no ETL. Alright? That's a totally, from a business objects perspective, the career, you can build a career on reporting, you can build a career on ETL. Okay? If you know both over a period of time, you are a master of business objects. Meaning you have flexibility to do reporting, you have flexibility to do ETL. You are a brilliant guy, right? But those kind of guys are very rare in the market because the subject matter in reporting itself is huge, the subject matter in ETL itself is huge. If you know both, you might not be a master of both, but you might be a jack of all, right? So that's why you need to focus on one and slowly build your knowledge level on the other side, okay, over a period of time. This is a high level data flow in BO, how the environment is set up. These are different source systems. Let us say Apollo Tyres has got one ERP, one CRM system, another database which stores HR data. HR means human resources. and some files which store business information. Now all this data has to be brought in for a reporting in an enterprise data warehouse, which is this one. Okay. This arrows which point from here to here is nothing but ETL, extraction, transformation and loading. Okay. Once the data gets stored in EDW, there are two flavors to it. When a business object environment is set up in an enterprise, this enterprise server is set up. You see this box, this is called an enterprise server. Okay. In that there will be a control database, there will be metadata. What is metadata? Data about data. Correct? In RDBMS you have tables. In tables you will have fields. Fields will have field names. Fields can be of numeric type. Fields can be of character type. Fields can be of date type. Fields can be of time type. Correct? All this is data about data. Okay? That's called metadata. Okay? Remember, learning SAP, whether you are learning BW or ERP or business objects, is all about common sense and terminology. Common sense, I am assuming we all have it. Terminology is new, which we need to get used to. Simple. There is nothing more than that. Okay? Now, there are two flavors. There is an EDW here, there is an EDW here. Why? Because a customer who is implementing business objects can have a separate EDW database, or the database can be within the enterprise server. That is what I am depicting in this slide. This is options. You won't have it in two places. You either have it outside the enterprise server or you have it inside the enterprise server. Okay? What is missing is the arrows from here to here. Okay? Which I was lazy. I didn't want to put it. I wanted to talk about it in the demo class. Then we have, once we have the data in EDW, Enterprise Data Warehouse, I will have all these reporting tools to report data in nicely formatted report or analytical report or dashboard. This is a typical data flow from a BO perspective. Okay. One thing I want to add here is this can be your BW system if you have BW. Okay. Now another flavor is this can be your BW, and I can also have another data warehouse, two data warehouses, but still I can report, isn't it? Right? Now if I am using BW, I have inbuilt ETL. If I am using non-BW data warehouse, then how do I bring data? Through BODS. Okay? Let's move on. These are the contents of the course. Okay? We do cover data warehouse fundamentals and BW overview. I will tell you why. Very important. If you learn BO, if you are applying in Wipro, TCS and all that, these guys have got huge SAP practices. Okay. Their target is always to catch SAP customers for business. Wipros and Cognizants and all these guys. When they are catching hold of SAP customers for business, SAP customers 90% of the time they have BW. Understood? Their transaction systems is the SAP ERP. We call it ECC 6.0. So you need to know, even though you are learning the front-end tools of business objects, you need to know what is BW, how data is organized, how the ETL works at a high level. Okay. Why you should know how data is organized? Because those database objects only you are going to hit for querying. Isn't it? You need to know that. Alright. Then you need to know, let me pull my cursor, SAP BW BO integration. How they are integrated. This is mandatory knowledge which you should have. Okay. Because there's a mandatory interview question. if you go to an interview for business objects. Do you know BW? Little bit. I know overview of what the database, how the database is organized. Then the second question would be, do you know how it is integrated? Right? After BO was acquired by SAP, they integrated BW and BO to make the SAP BI suite. Right? So you need to know that. Then we covered. Now there are more granular topics. This is only summary of what we are going to teach. Okay? BO Enterprise, Business Objects Enterprise Server. In that we are going to teach some tasks which you need to do from a CMS perspective. There is a central management system, kind of an administration tool, where only you are all going to be reporting experts. You are not going to be administrators of business objects, or you are not going to be ETL guys of business objects, right? But you need to know few things from a CMS perspective. Then there is a very important thing called business objects is a service oriented architecture. Let's not get into jargon here, okay? Think that there are different services which needs to be activated for the business object system to run. That is what service oriented architecture is in layman terminology. Okay? It is a thing that as simple as this. If I have to move a bed from one room to another room, I need 4 people. Each person is a service from an IT perspective. So there are 4 services. Unless the 4 services are activated, meaning lifting the bed and moving it, it doesn't move. Agreed? Layman terminology. Connectivity to databases and other systems, what different options I have. If you have put in your resume 3 years of experience in business objects, I'm just giving you an example, then an interviewer is going to ask you, okay, what options I have to do crystal reports? Can I connect to any database, or do I need to go through this or through that, etc. Different things. You as consultants with just 3 years experience, you should be able to answer that question logically. Otherwise, the guy will hang up the phone if it's a telephone interview, or he will ask you to step out. Thank you so much. Okay? This is very important. So, one thing I would like to tell you is Sappion and Rao believes in one thing. The guys who come here, they come with hard-earned money and time to be spent for learning a technology, right? And building a career. The guy who's sitting here, I am sitting here putting my time and effort mentoring you guys. Both should not be wasting time and money, as simple as that. The objective of the course is you should learn the subject matter, work on the system and get a job. That's the objective. If you get a job, after you get a job, sustain in the job. That is another objective, right? Otherwise the whole purpose is lost. You come here, we will say come pay the fee, we do that 45 days training and everything is over, you go home, I'm going my way, you're going your way. That's not going to work. So the prerequisite number 1 is you need to know database, fundamentals. I'm not saying you should have real-time experience in Oracle and SQL Server and all that. You should be able to understand what tables are, what fields are, how each table is linked to each other, basic RDBMS concept. That's all you need. The second prerequisite, you should work for at least 10 hours every week on the system, including 5-6 hours of classes, means 16 to 17 hours every week you should spend. Otherwise, don't join. Nobody in this training business will ask for it. I am the only guy who will ask, because I don't want you guys to waste time and your hard-earned money. If you are not earning, your dad's money. Okay? As simple as that. Now, so then we go into BO. Proper BO, we learn these tools. Universe Designer, mandatory skill. Now remember this. This course consists of 2 versions which will be taught to you. 3.x and 4.x. Why? 3.x will be more and at a high level for you to understand what was in the past. 4.x tools will be at the most detailed training level for you to know what is currently being sold to customers as a tool. Okay? Why you need to know both the flavors? Because you are putting some experience, right? So if somebody is asking, this is an interview question again. What is the difference between web intelligence tool in 4.x versus 3.x? You should at least tell 2-3 differences, isn't it? Logically. Then the guy knows, dude, you have put 3 years of experience. Yes, you are genuine. I will tell you where I am coming from. I train people, I place them in United States, right? So I know what the industry wants. I know what the interviewer is expecting from a candidate based on the experience put on the resume, right? All these factors contributed towards building this kind of a curriculum and the approach for learning. All right, keep that in mind. Universe designer, web intelligence, don't get overwhelmed with all this terminology. These are all tools. You will be working hands-on with each of these tools, so don't worry. Web intelligence, dashboard design. So universe designer is something like you're designing a schema. Okay, keep that in mind. Don't a database schema. That's all you keep in mind as of today. It's a demo class. Web intelligence is a tool to create web intelligence reports, meaning analytical reports to be executed on a browser, whether it is Internet Explorer or Chrome or Firefox. Obviously, it will work very well in IE. Chrome and Firefox are lousy. Okay, I mean from a BO perspective, they're good, but from a BO perspective. I hope no Google guy is hearing me this conversation. Dashboard design tool. This is only built for creating dashboards which are nothing but visual representation of reports or data. Okay, maps, graphs, pie charts, bar charts. You know the terminology very well. Okay, crystal reports. We do cover crystal reports, but we give you an overview. Overview means it's not just giving you PowerPoint slides and showing you, this is how we do crystal reports, etc. We go hands-on into the system and do development. But we don't go too much into details because crystal reports is an optional tool, meaning not every customer will go for it because formatted reporting can be done in web intelligence also. If you do formatted reporting in web intelligence, you have two advantages. You can do analytics, meaning all analytic functionalities, they drill down, drill across, slice and dice, filter, all kinds of stuff we can do. Plus, you are getting a formatted report also. The crystal report is optional, so that's why we don't spend too much time. I put overview here, but overview means not just showing you some PowerPoint slides and saying end of story, go home. All right? Sorry? Correct. Design is easy because formatted reporting tool, every pixel in the output when it runs on a browser is critical because the format has to be adhered to. So the way the tool has been built by business objects is it's kind of pain in the neck. Personally, I don't like crystal reports, but it is used by customers for only few reports like P&L, balance sheet. If somebody has to do pre-formatted report, which they just take a printout and send it across, right? That's useful. So we will cover quite a bit of crystal report. BO Explorer, business object, it's a new tool. We will do definitely, even though it is an optional skill, we will do cover that. So to the extent that in an interview, you should be able to talk about it. I will tell you the reality of the BO market. The reality is nobody knows BO Explorer. The guy who is interviewing also will not know. But for the sake of interview, he will try to ask you a few questions. Whatever you say, he might not understand or he might understand. But from Sapion's participants training perspective, we want you to be prepared and to be able to say that yes, I worked on BO Explorer, this is the functionality, this is how I connect to a database and I run reports. Clear? And overview of all other new tools. All other new tools mean visual intelligence and business object analysis. These are new tools. Okay, not every customer is using it. I will give you a reality of a BO interview in India. Okay, the reality is, let's say I am an interviewer. I'm a project manager or a hiring manager. I have 20 questions. Out of 20 questions, 16 questions I will ask about web intelligence, dashboard development, and all the tools which are universe design. How do we do the schema and all that? The remaining 4 questions I will use for new tools, just to see whether you got exposure or not. All right. Even if you are able to answer out of 4 questions, 2 questions, you are in. Understood? That is the objective. The other thing is, always remember, in 45 days or 2 months, there is only certain, you can only learn and master a certain subject matter. Okay? Certain things you will learn on the job. And that's a reality. If somebody is saying in 45 days, I'm going to give you everything and make you an expert who has experience of 5 years, that is bull. As simple as that. Somebody is taking you for a ride. Okay? Alright, so now let's talk about, so I came back to the next slide. Hold on. Q&A. Any questions? Before you ask any question, I want to tell you something here. This is my advice, but it's all up to you how you want to do, how you want to build your BI career from an SAP perspective is all up to you. My advice is always learn BW. Okay. Oh, before I go there, we are not done yet. Okay, sorry. We also talk about BI Launchpad. You know what it is. It's nothing but a portal. Okay. And InfoView, which is the 3.x version of a portal. Alright. And then we do touch base on HANA. Let's talk about HANA first. HANA is SAP's proprietary database software. Actually, it is a combination of software and hardware. Okay. Servers and database. Both work hand in hand, and we call it HANA. Okay. High performance analytical appliance is what HANA is. High performance analytical appliance. An appliance used for high performance of a particular solution. In this case, it's a reporting solution, meaning if I run a report now, instantaneously I get data on the screen. That's what the purpose of HANA is. Now coming back to HANA, SAP acquired Sybase a few years ago. They used the Sybase team to develop HANA. Developers are there, right? Sybase. They use Sybase developers plus original SAP developers combined together. They built HANA. HANA is new in the market. Okay. So somebody says you learn just HANA, you will get a job. He is bullshitting. Let me tell you. Okay. Because you can't put fake experience. You cannot justify. There are 127 customers in the world who have bought HANA, out of which only 27 customers implemented HANA. Remaining 100 are waiting and watching whether these 27 customers will tell that yes, the system is really great after implementing HANA. That's the reality. So we have these many institutes, HANA. Nowadays, mommy and daddy, no mommy, daddy, only HANA. Correct? It's all hype. It's all hype. You have career options in HANA. You need to know, that's what I'm coming to. To become a HANA consultant, you need background. You can be a BI HANA consultant, which is what we teach. Although from a business objects perspective, HANA is only a database where all these reporting tools will be hitting the database to extract data. But if you have BW on top of HANA, it's a different ballgame altogether. I'm not going to talk about it. Very simple, 3 career options. SAP BI with HANA, consultant option. SAP ABAP or technical with HANA option. SAP Basis, meaning system administration with HANA option. Meaning you need to have a background of SAP to do HANA and build a career on it. Only HANA is also there. but it has not caught up. Okay? Because you need to have this background to become a successful HANA consultant, because nowadays customers are not just hiring somebody with one skill. They want the guy to have another skill, more than one skill, complement his existing skill, so that he doesn't need to spend more money, right? That is the reality. Okay, so we do cover BW, BO and HANA topics. That class will be merged with the BW batch which is going on. Okay, because both you guys need to know and those guys also need to know how this BW and BO will work with HANA scenario. Okay. Bonus is, we talk about ERP, SAP ERP, which is your ECC product, its fundamentals, modules, kind of data which is stored, how data is organized, etc. This is only given as recorded session. I am not going to do classes for you. Recorded sessions means what? It's exactly like a class, but you won't see my face. You will hear my voice. It's exactly an online class. Why are we giving this to you? I will tell you. You learn BO. Learning of BO can be through CBTs also. You know that. Computer based training. Technical subject matter, anybody can tell you. What is the value addition? Best practices. How to implement. How does a project run from a BO perspective? If you are hired by a company, what is the starting point and what is the ending point? How do you start a project? How do you end it? What is the support model? How do you support applications? All this is important, isn't it? That's what we teach. Okay. But the most important thing is, what if your source data is ERP for reporting? You know BO. But what if your source is ERP, SAP ERP, wherever you are deployed? Let's say you go join Cognizant. The very first project they say, okay, you are in that project as a senior developer based on whatever you put, 3-5 years experience. I'm just putting some examples here. And they immediately say, oh, this customer needs crystal reports or web intelligence reports from data coming from ERP. You need to understand the ERP terminology, the transactions which happen in ERP, the business processes which happen in ERP, etc. Otherwise, you will have a blank face when you go to a requirements gathering meeting the very first day. Isn't it? I'll give you an example. Let's say you are put in a meeting very first day. Okay. And I'll give you a much more realistic scenario. You join Cognizant. Okay. Now the guy who is the regular coordinator, offshore, onshore coordinator is on leave for 10 days. His wife is delivering a baby. Okay. So you are hired, you are the only next senior member based on your resume. Okay. Then you are called, you said, please come into this meeting. There are Procter & Gamble guys waiting for you to talk or join the meeting. Then you go into the meeting. Then one US lady from Procter & Gamble, your end user, is going to say, I'm sorry, what is your name? Rajshekar. Raj, can you bring all the incoming invoices data into a report, in a web intelligence report? Then you will be thinking, what is incoming invoice? You don't have a clue, right? Incoming invoices, when a vendor or a supplier is sending an invoice to us, it becomes an incoming invoice, which we need to pay because he has supplied rubber or whatever to us. Correct? You understood the high level what I am talking about. These classes I used to teach even for BO people earlier. Okay. But somehow people who come for BO training, they are not interested in learning ERP. They don't get it why I am telling them. So that is the reason why I stopped teaching. I said, you take the recording, you are interested, you do the recording, that is good enough for you. You are not interested, don't do it. You are not going to benefit anything if you don't do it. Learning is always beneficial, isn't it? Right? especially people who come from non-manufacturing background. They need to know manufacturing processes end to end, procure to pay, order to cash, what are the transactions which happen, because those transactions are only going to be reported on business object tools. If you don't know that, you are not a comprehensive consultant. Clear? This is the overall high level contents of the course, and personally I feel this is the best curriculum. Not that I created it, its objective is to give the knowledge for a person to be successful in an interview and get a job and then build a career. That should be the objective, isn't it? Right? Any questions? If you want detailed curriculum, I can send it to you. I will take the email IDs and send it to you. That is also there. But this high level curriculum, I have covered all the tools which are important from a BO. BO scope of learning is smaller than BW. Remember this. BW is vast. It's got hell lot of functionality. BO tools, you learn the tools, best practices, etc., that is enough. Okay. So this course is 45 days, whereas BW course is 9 weeks. The BW course 9 weeks covers BO also, but BO is little. Alright. But BO is only focused on BO, but I give you additional ERP and all that stuff. It's important. Never ignore that. Okay. Now, if you are interested in joining this course, the prerequisites I told you, database fundamentals and 16 to 17 hours of dedicated time for about 2 months. At least 2 months. Although the course will be over in 45 days, but 2 months, let's keep it 2 months. 2 months dedicated effort of 16 hours a week. If you don't have it, don't join, please. Okay? That's my request. So keep that in mind. You can come back whenever you have that time. Now this is going to be a hands-on course completely. No just theory and all that. And go home and go sit in the lab and practice and things like that. How it works, I will tell you. The entire course is recorded. Okay. So I show you how it happens. Let's say I will show you how to build a web intelligence report. Couple of functionalities in web intelligence report. Okay. How to do filtering and all that. Okay. Conditions. That recorded session is given to you or put in our SAP portal. Already we have recordings. That portal access will be given to you 24/7. Meaning, you do the class, you already are looking at the screen and seeing, understanding the concept, how to build and all that. When you go back home or when I get out of this office, you can still go to the portal, look at the video and do your exercise. If you don't understand the concept, again repeat the video and make sure that you understand. If you still don't understand, I'm always there, which is a remote possibility. Okay, the way I explain, the examples which I gave you will give you an idea how my training methodology is. Very simple to understand layman terminology. If I am wrong, tell me if I am wrong. Okay, so keep that in mind. So get serious if at all you want to join the course, and it's a rigorous, intensive training. You have to rip the system apart and exploit my experience. Okay? Clear on that? Thank you for attending, and then we will touch base. If you want to talk to me one-on-one, take the number from Sujita and you can SMS me first saying, I attended your BO demo, I want to talk to you and what prospects and whatever questions you have. I will call you tomorrow. Saturdays, I relax in the afternoon. Like I said, I work in the night for my US customers and then this is my day job. So Saturday is one day afternoon, I want to have 3-4 hours of sleep. Okay. So SMS me, Sunday I will talk to you. Okay. Thank you. That's the best. So that is the best option. Since Sujita told me you guys are interested on only BO, that's why I talked about BO. Okay? Learning BW is very beneficial because by learning BW and business objects, you are going to be a comprehensive BI consultant. I'm talking about SAP BI consultant. If you are only learning BO, you are going to be an SAP BO consultant. You are not a comprehensive SAP BI consultant. But having said that, you can always come later and learn BW. Okay? The reason why I suggest the other course, which the demo starts now in another 15 minutes, where I cover BW and all that. That's a recorded video. You can get that recorded video from Sujita. The reason why I suggest that is, see, if I'm a businessman, I'm offering two different courses. You pay for this course, you pay for this course, and I make money. Not me, but champion. But I'm not like that. See, always learning is gradual. You need a starting point from where you can build, isn't it? So the other course which I'm talking about is 75% BW and data warehousing and ERP and all that, 25% business object. Okay? Then what I suggest to people who are enrolling into that course, what I suggest is get a job in BW. Okay? And then slowly build on the 25% of business objects what you learn, you build on business objects at a later stage. Okay? That's the right learning path which I suggest to a lot of people. But a lot of customers here in India, students who come here, they say, oh, my uncle told me BO market is fantastic. I only want to learn BO. I don't want to learn BW. I feel sad for that. I'm literally telling you. Okay? So it's all up to what you want to do, but you should also listen to the mentor. Because the guy who's in the industry, I'm in the industry for so long, I know what is demanded in the market, in the marketplace, right? So keep that in mind. We can talk more one-on-one, no issues. We are not going to start a batch tomorrow. Sujita and the management of Sapion has got some plans. You can talk to them. We have time. We can talk on Sunday or Monday, leisurely. Each one of you, where you come from, what background, what is that you're looking for from an SAP perspective. Remember, I'm a mentor, I'm not a trainer. Mentor, there's a difference between mentor and a trainer, right? We all know that. So it's very important to understand each one of you, your background, your scenario. Let's say some people come. I'm going to stop recording here, okay, so that this